framework of our special project devoted to the first anniversary of Maidan, we devoted to the destinies of Maidan activists, and we ask always the same question: how this year changed the lives of these people. And now we will discuss the destinies of the severely injured Maidan activists. We speak to Oksana Syvak, chairwoman of Initiative E+, who will describe organizational and legal aspects related to the treatment of Maidan activists. Also, we have Artem Myrgorodskyi, Initiative E+, and we have Ivan Liubarskyi, Dmytro Gissa, Mykhaylo Malets, and Vitaliy Andreev, those who were injured at Maidan. Good afternoon. We are approaching to the first anniversary of Maidan events. Of course, many of us have good memories, have bad memories. Majority of activists met on Maidan. I'm a doctor and physician, and I met with these guys on Maidan. And after Maidan events, we have organized as an association. We realized these guys would require medical assistance and treatment. And despite many our efforts, we required assistance, especially financial support for medicine and for implants. And the majority of those funds came from regular Ukrainian citizens, and also from Caritas Ukraine Foundation, and also from Czech Foundation, people in need. Actually, these are major sponsors who provide financial support to the injured people. They finance treatment and rehabilitation in Ukraine. Our database, which is, by the way, the unified database, it contains all those people who were wounded and injured when they stayed in Maidan. And after Maidan events, we checked the situation with all those people who were injured during their stay in Maidan. And currently we have 685 registered people in this database. Those people provided medical certificates, and also they applied to the law enforcement agencies. Fortunately, many of those people managed to restore their health. Unfortunately, some part of those guys were killed in the east. We had even successes like Ptashnik Bogdan. We did not believe that he would be able to restore his health and ability to walk independently, but he managed to do this. Unfortunately, by now, we have some heavily injured guys. People in need allowed us to treat more than 40 people, and we have four very heavily injured guys. One of them still is abroad, and because in Ukraine doctors were unable to help him, and now my colleague Dmytro will explain more about legal aspects of our work. Despite the fact that now we have warfare and there are many pressing activities, but nevertheless, this work is very important. My name is Dmytro Gissa. In Initiative E+, I'm responsible for the database. By the way, the Cabinet of Ministers also takes its part in the destinies of these people. There is resolution number 324, which provides for support and treatment of those people who were wounded and injured in result of Maidan activities. And in line with this initiative, the Ministry of Social Policy, the Ministry of Healthcare, they have to compile the lists of injured people, and they are responsible also for assessment of the heaviness of those injuries, and the law enforcement bloc is also involved to the compilation of this list. Security Service, Ministry of the Interior, the Army, they have to compile this list. They have to submit their lists to the Ministry of Healthcare. As of now, we have 67 people in that list who requires serious treatment. Out of our database of more than 600 people, on our side, we confirmed that really those people participated in the Maidan events and they require treatment. But there are some nuances about that resolution. It covers only the period from November 21st till February 21st, while in some regions of Ukraine, like in Zhytomyr, Dmytro listened, like in Kharkiv, Volodymyr Silevich, who were wounded and injured after the period which is covered by this cabinet resolution. That's why we made a submission to the government that the interests of those people who suffered because of Maidan events, but after the period which was prescribed by the resolution, their needs also should be covered somehow. Also, I would like to provide legal advice to those people who suffered because of Maidan events, and if you have some injuries, please apply to the Ministry of the Interior and request for medical expertise. Now I would like to invite to the microphone to Dmytro Gissa from Zhytomyr, who was injured after actually Maidan events. My sad story began on February 14th when my car was burned the Maidan enemies noticed that how I used my car, and they destroyed it. On February 22nd, I participated in the joint patrolling organized by citizens and road inspection officers. And around midnight, we had fighting with the Maidan opponents, and they heavily injured me in my head. And now we have Mr. Liubarskyi. Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank to all those people who assisted in delivering medical services and medical assistance to the Maidan activists and Maidan participants. And also I would like to thank you to those people who organized our treatment abroad. For example, in Czech Republic, we now have several guys. Currently, we have currently, some of our guys have problems with forensic expertise because some people with serious injuries they are able to behave like people with less serious injuries, and during forensic expertise, this is not noticed.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry for the language of occupants. I was wounded on the 18th of January. There was a grenade and which exploded, and it was used by Berkut, and I was evacuated from Ukraine. I was one of the first 27 persons who were taken to Czech Republic to Prague. I would like to thank Juliana Lutsenka. Thanks to her, I was taken there, and Caritas was taking care of me. After I returned, I did not know what to do next, and then I went to Caritas Ukraine, and I talked to E+ organization, and they helped me a lot already. What are the problems? There's a big bureaucratic apparatus in our country. There are big delays. This is the problem. Organization of documents, processing all the documents. They pass the laws, but then they don't know how to execute the laws, because for submitting some papers to the forensic organization, they need my approval, but for other things, my approval is not needed, and volunteers are doing it. Another problem is I need to get registered as a disabled person. Some people I know, they get this status of disabled person as the general category disabled person, and they need to get it as the disabled people with orthopedic problems. I was wounded on the 17th of February here in Sholkovichna, about 30 meters away from me. The Berkut guy shot me into the eye. I was taken by, I was transported to Poland, and I was, I had the surgery, and they put this artificial eye, and here I had the plastic surgery, and now I look like I look, and that's thanks to them. And the doctor, I really thank the doctor so well, because the surgery was made at high quality. Basically, that was the same doctor that helped me with taking the bullet out, and I really would like to thank her for her work. After that case, she was dismissed from her work. I don't know why, but according to her, it was because of Maidan. And where did she work? In which hospital? Center of Microsurgery of Eye. Petrenko Natalia Eduardovna is her name. After she did the surgery, she was dismissed. And when I came to have another examination, she wasn't working there. That's according to her. Do you know about such a project? There's Ukrainian-Canadian Foundation which organizes the arrival of high-class plastic surgeons from Canada, and they're planning to do surgeries for those people who suffered at Maidan, especially to those who have sight problems. And yeah, we are selecting these patients, and these are people from Maidan and those who were wounded at ATO. They want to have 50 patients minimum. This will be a joint project of Canadian doctors and Ukrainian. There will be a team of 25 Canadian specialists for doctors, nurses. They bring the equipment. They will be working at the military hospital together with our colleagues, and this will be like a master class. They're trusting each other. They will select patients. They arrive on the 6th of November, and they start working on the 8th of November. If someone hears me who we did not contact, this will be the plastic and reconstruction of the neck, of the head, of bones. Please call our hotline. You will be included into the project. This will be free of charge. These will be the highly qualified experts. We already have some patients. Will this be those people who are wounded at Maidan? We've been talking about that since April, and we had more than 20 patients. But now most of the patients are treated. We'll have about 10 persons from Maidan now, but the rest will be those who were wounded at ATO, both military and peaceful citizens. Please could you remind us the phone number of E+, 067 407 8707. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Spain. It's a question for the two last men that spoke, the two that are injured. The first thing, if they can identify themselves, because I don't know their names. And the second thing, it's two questions. It's why they were in Maidan, and if now they think it was worth it to be there and to be injured, and for the one who had the surgery, how much time he spent in the hospital also? Thank you.
Я перекладу, будь ласка, двоє хлопців, які виступали.
Olena is translating the questions.
Mykhaylo Malets, так, в Сирії.
The names are Mykhaylo Malets, the person in gray, and Vitaliy Andreev with the injured eye. So it's a year after Maidan. Was Maidan worth it? Going there and being wounded? Who can answer? Vitaliy. That's an interesting question. And the question was why I was there. It's not, well, how to put it? I did not want militia that has to protect us. I did not want them to shoot me into the eye. Even if I was throwing stones into him, he has no right to throw a grenade at a person. It's not protection of the population. They were making people disabled, and that's why I was there. Not to have it in the future, but the East is a different situation. Would you go again to Maidan? Yes, I would. Absolutely. Mykhaylo. Yes, I also believe that Maidan was needed. It changed a lot, these early presidential elections, parliamentary elections. It's a pity that not all young people realized that elections is something needed, that they had to go and vote. And that is why 15 million voters did not vote at these elections. I would go again to Maidan to protect the population just as I went. I am just a regular office clerk. I went there, and when I saw that Berkut guy was beating some elderly woman, I went to this Berkut guy, and that is why I had this grenade, and I'm still having pain till now, and I would go again, and I'm not sorry that I did it. If there were a threat to the population like it was then, I would go to protect the future of my children, of people who went there, to demonstrate that we need the world to be fair. And what is the biggest achievement of Maidan? I believe that's the fact that the nation got united. I am the Russian-speaking Ukrainian. Now I realize how Ukrainian I am. Now people understand. It doesn't matter which language you speak. If you live on the territory of Ukraine, if you are a patriot, you deserve your country to be prosperous. Do you believe that the events happening in Ukraine, the situation, political situation, does it justify what people were standing for in Maidan? Talking about politics, it's just everything's mixed up. The young people do not understand how important it was. Old people, pensioners vote, but the war, it's not because of Maidan, it's because of Putin. We did not start it. We are defending our territory, our country, and people in Donbass who believe that they should be with Russia, let them take their bags and go to live to Russia. And my question is to Dmytro. Please remind us of the statistical data. How many people who are wounded at Maidan do you have in your database?
That is why I wanted to mention our expectations after the visits around Ukraine, around the almost all the regional oblast centers, and we have collected information about more than 700 injured people, but I believe that the total figure of injured people may amount to 1,000 persons, because part of those injured people, they later went to the east, and now they are in Donetsk and Lugansk, ATO zone, and some people live in remote areas whom we haven't noticed and haven't found. Also, we maintain cooperation with the government in order to identify those people who are registered in the state registers. Quite often, people mention only their names without indication of their home address or telephone number, etc. Also, I would like to mention that together with the database and medical assistance, we also dealt with quite different activity. We organized summer camps and recreational camps for those children, for children of those who were injured, and besides summer camps in Sweden. We also send children to the summer camps in Latvia, and organized a river cruise for the children of Ukrainian servicemen who are now in the ATO zone, because we believe that it is extremely important to take care about families of those people who are now defending Ukraine in the East. That's why we devote much attention to provision of broad assistance, not just to injured people, but to their families and their children. We have one more question.
On the injuries, on the people who were injured, of these 1,000 persons, how many had serious injuries, and how many are still having the consequences of these injuries? And I mean, I imagine some of them also have psychological problems. Can you make me a more clear idea on this, on all the panorama of the injured people?
Я передам слово пані Оксані.
Тобто з тисячі поранених
I would like to give the floor to Oksana to answer your question, because she is doctor, and now Elena is translating your question into Ukrainian. I mentioned that we believe that there might be up to 1,000, although in our database we have up to 700 registered people. The prosecutor's office suggests that the wounds got from firearms was in a number of 187. This is about Maidan events, and this was the statistics from the prosecutor's office. 187. These were general firearms wounded. Now, our list of heavily injured people contains 67 people. But we believe that this figure might grow because we haven't covered all the injured people, and our objective is to find out these people, because the state assistance amounts to 60,000 hryvnia. So how these 60,000 should be paid? Are these sums paid to the injured people? As far as I know, that approximately a week or 2 weeks after the person is identified as an injured or heavily injured person, then this injured person has to open an account with a bank, and then within 3 or 5 bank days they receive this money into their account. Although there are some issues with this money, this is not the state fund which will exist during long period of time. This were target money, and the sooner these people are found, the best. How many people have already received this money? Up to 20 heavily injured people have received this money. My opinion as a doctor might be that we will have up to 147 heavily injured people in this official list. because at the moment when those people from Maidan were taken to different hospitals, they tried to escape from that hospital as soon as possible because of political situation. And my observation as a doctor is that even now, we have a lot of telephone calls to our psychological service. We have here our Valentyna Varava, professional psychologist, who works on this hotline, and she speaks to people over the telephone, and sometimes people come to see her, and she provides psychological assistance to those people even coming to Kiev. Thank you very much. I would like to remind you that we had Initiative E+ members and representatives of the Maidan activists who were wounded during Maidan events. Thank you very much for coming. And in several minutes, we will discuss progress in reforms with Presidential Administration Deputy Head, Mr. Dmytro